All right, guys, video by Loot Goblin Marketplace. Game developer expects to be paid to prepare each session. It was my dream to be a paid DM, so this will be interesting.
Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the Loot Goblin Marketplace. Players that are very difficult in-game tend to also be difficult out-of-game. The more I cover stories on my channel, the more I realize that D&D really brings out the worst in some people. I'm not talking about doing evil or chaotic actions against random NPCs. I get it, we've all played Grand Theft Auto like that when we're bored. What I am talking about are stories about a person who fully expects 5 other people to sit at the table with them.
I love these videos by Loot Goblin.
And dedicate the next 4 hours to stroking their ego.
They're some of my favorite
that comes
videos
after
to watch.
someone has the nerve to question them and their authority on how a hobby is played is always such a mask-off moment, and their downfall is always so satisfying to hear about. That's why today's treasure is called the Game Master who bullied, railroaded, controlled, exploited, and had everyone else to blame when karma came knocking. But before I go any further, today's video is sponsored by Gamer Subs, the best energy drink to bring to your game table. They've got a lot of really good flavors and have helped me cut down on carbonated energy drinks and maintain a keto diet. And it's way more affordable than other drinks, with it being only 40 cents per serving.
This goblin is keto.
And you can get your favorite flavors caffeine-free to drink more water and cut down on soda too. Be sure to use code LootGoblin to get 10% off at gamersubs.gg, or you can just click the
No, it's not. If you haven't,
link down in the video description to support the channel and try some of my favorite flavors like Goof Juice when you want more energy, or AFK Grape to help you go to sleep. Anyways, back to the video. Hello everyone, this post might end up being long, so I'll have to skip a little of the ridiculousness of this amazing game.
What's funny is like a lot of the I'm like 50-50 on agreeing with the OP. Like sometimes I think the OP is freaking ridiculous.
Master. The server I was talking about was a play-by-post on Discord. While there was a ton of different players, the main focus here will be on its creator and
I love play-by-posts.
And leader, the head game master. We will call him His Highness. His Highness had designed this TTRPG, originally with 2 other friends, but had a falling out with both of them, a trend that I soon realized was constant. The idea was this game was an amalgamation of concepts from all kinds of genres and popular shows, games and movies, all meshed
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. That doesn't sound like something I would do.
Together in one town where the players would be surviving. There was no level up system, but rather you could earn skill points to learn all kinds of broken skills that would help you along. Your power was based solely on these skills along with overpowered items, which often were made up on the spot and could literally be anything ranging from a holy hand grenade to Excalibur to a lightsaber. Basically, if it existed in a commonly known culture, it was likely in this game. Now the real trick to this game, it was the most unbalanced thing I've ever come across.
I cannot wait for fucking April next year for the new summon. It's gonna be so peak.
Attacks automatically landed and you had 2 attacks. Without a level up system, your health was also fairly set at around 20 to 40 depending on your race, and other weapons could do insane things such as a 1d20 plus your strength and dexterity modifier to damage. It doesn't take a keen mind to find the issues. Despite this, I'm the kind of person who really likes roleplay over actual combat, so despite this already broken system I was walking into, I figured something was better.
I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. Like I like combat and like the out of combat, like about even
Than nothing, right?
I just don't like when it's too much of one or the other. I kind of like an even balance of both.
Oh, how naive I was. His Highness would tell people he was making the game. We were its beta players, and we would be helping him make it. Yes, it had its flaws, but don't worry, he would be fixing them. With that promise in mind, I made a vampire character whose focus was around taming monsters as pets, probably the most appealing dynamic to me, and I joined the game. The issues became apparent very quickly. Firstly, His Highness would set up a Patreon, which he insisted publicly would be an option for players who wanted to help support him in developing his game. If you donated monthly, you would not only be making it easier for him to focus his time on making his game better and more fair for everyone, but most importantly, it would give players more power in development. If you donated, then he would focus his energy on areas you wanted to see developed. And
wait, that's literally what we do on Patreon.
Example, are you
It's not pay to win to be like I'm supporting the game, and like I would really like this mechanic to be in the game because I want to use it in like a future session. Like it's fine.
Magic player. Donating would mean he would prioritize making new spells and items that worked for you. This was at least the promise.
Yeah.
I found out later that he used the Patreon to pressure players. You didn't want your character to die? Well,
Okay, that's fucked up, bro. Yo, that's fucked up. That's a little too far. What the fuck?
well, a donating player wouldn't be targeted, and your character was given better items to survive his broken little
oh my god, like literally pay the win.
sandbox of a world.
Pay the win,
What,
D&D.
you want a shop? That's fine. But if you want wares to sell, you would better be a patron, or else you would ensure a paying player would not only be given a shop, but the wares and funds to make your shop null and void.
My god.
Oh wait, you're only donating $5 a month? Well, if you go up a tier and donate 10 a month, then your character can have some plot, because His Highness's time was very valuable, and you had best kiss his feet if he permitted you some of his time. Now at this point, you're probably thinking, how does this guy have any players? The simple reason, he wasn't on that much. He would usually only get on over the weekend and leave his other game masters to lead and maintain his game for him. Now I came to find out that none of his game masters had any real game master experience. They were his friends in real life, and he used social pressure to control them. An example of this, he had these two ladies who worked.
Yeah, I'm doing that to all of the game masters in Moraine. Yeah. I like socially pressuring them, yeah.
As GMs. He would gaslight these two sweet ladies by telling them he depended on them, they were his close friends, and if he didn't help them, the server would fall and it would be all their fault. He would say that his other friends had abandoned him, but they wouldn't because they were his true friends and he could depend on them. Meanwhile, His Highness would also tell them how he needed their help. He would delegate all of the server maintenance on them, have them run encounters with little to no guidelines. He would have them help new players.
That part's true.
And ensure that he ran the world of roleplay while he got on whenever he felt like it. If they, however, were not on every day, it was because they didn't care. They were going to leave him like so many others had. He had these two wrapped around his finger. Mind you, the Patreon only went to him. The game masters under him who, you know, did the work, they didn't get any of it. Now to tell you where I came in. Wow, honestly, what a setup to a story. I'm already seeing so many red flags. You know, we've seen many cases where someone's going to go on to be an author and is using people as like beta testers. Doing it for an entire game system, one where you basically make it pay to win, or I guess he would argue pay to develop because, you know, his time was worth so much where, oh, you want to do advanced level spells as a spell?
Well, the problem with the pay the plot thing is people... One of the big things with like tabletop, like D&D in particular, is kind of feeling like you're actually a part of something. And if you only pay the plot people, then it's kind of... It basically makes a lot of people feel left out. And then it's not really fun for everybody. And then it kind of, the whole thing collapses.
Caster, guess you gotta go up a tier. You know, personally, I've never played like a paid campaign where the dungeon master's getting $20 from each person at the table. I totally see why it could be a thing that's appealing because, you know, the guys can always show up and have something prepared. I know occasionally it doesn't go well. I've seen some RPG horror stories about paid DMs, but it's not necessarily a bad thing by itself. The fact that he basically outright says that if you're a free-to-play character, you aren't going to get focused on at any point in time. You know, he's not going to do session prep that gives you a cool item or a cool dungeon or NPC that's tied to your backstory. No, you have to be a paying member. In fact, if you don't pick the highest tier, I'm probably going to give that magic item or that NPC plot hook.
The problem is like, dude, it's so short-sighted to do something like that. To like make people pay for like in-game currency or for like items and stuff like that. It's like, it's so short-sighted because you make the whole thing, like, it might make you more money, like, in the immediate, but then, like, everything's gonna fall apart. So people just, like, don't take it seriously anymore. You basically make it so there's no point in playing because, like, there's no point in playing and, like, it's not exciting to get items because, like, people can just pay for it
to someone else before I ever give it to you. And then you have to remember the added nerve. This is a Discord server. This is a play-by-post Discord server. This is one where he can't even be bothered to read and write what happens. He has unpaid intern DMs doing that for him. There are just so many red flags here that I don't know why this person thought it would ever be a good idea to play more than 20 seconds.
Can you guys imagine how much money we would make though if like we made Fortuna's gacha like pay the play, pay the win? Man, holy fuck, you guys are fucking gambling addicts, man.
Seconds of this campaign, but let's hear what he has to say. My character was a sweet little vampire who literally could befriend.
God, I had such bad rolls. I rolled the gacha earlier and it was so fucking bad, dude. Oh, dude. Yeah, so many people are in debt. I know. I want to roll again, but I only have like 600 clem left. I need like 1.4k. Like if Saber pays me back, like I can roll. I can do a 10 roll. I want to do a 10 roll.
Even the most
Uh,
intense edgelord. She got along with
mm,
everyone as a result. It wasn't long before I got to know most of the players, including the other game masters. The other game masters, as previously mentioned, didn't know how to lead, and I was not only friendly and liked, but quite experienced. They would message me asking how to do things, since His Highness would sometimes take days before responding if he even bothered.
Gunnar says I'll never play a gacha game again. No, that's not what happened. What happened was in the, so we have like an open world like MMO TTRPG thing, called Moraine Expedition, and it's like on the Discord, but it's on like a different Discord. If you're interested in that, just go to like the like the the Patreon, like just like look at the Patreon of the TTRPG, or like you'll see it. Go on the Discord and you'll see the information for it. It's just like an information like channel for it. Anyway, just check that out if you're interested in it. It costs $20 a month, but anyway, basically it's like an MMO TTRPG. And so what happened was there was an event, and this Eidolon of luck like there's like a festival in the town, and then she appeared in the town, and she's basically saying like if you pay her like 200 gold clim, it's called clim in the game. If you pay her like 200 clim, she will like you roll like a D100, and then based on whatever you get, what roll you get like an item, like a random item. And like the 100 one is like the 100 ones are like really good.
started to help run
So
things, and even
everyone
playing
got addicted to like rolling. So now there's like people like going into debt in the game, like borrowing money from other players in order to roll the gacha. It's fucking so real.
other NPCs to help keep the game progressing. Obviously, His Highness was not happy. He became upset that I was leading things without his
Wait, there's a guy that's 5 to 6k in debt.
permission, and even wanted to take away my happy little character as punishment. Needless to say, literally everyone turned on him. We had the game masters threatening to leave, which, since he wasn't on much, meant that he wouldn't have anyone to lead his server for him. In the end, he begrudgingly asked for me to become a game master and put me in charge of the black market, one of the few jobs he hadn't already handed to someone else. This is important because this meant I was in charge of running his favorite NPC character, the black market's leader, who was a powerful demon. We will just call his character the overpowered demon dude. I read and reread every note he had on the character and the black market as a whole, so I could run them the best as I could. This fact will be important later. Now, as a game master, I was privy to the GM chat and took part in a weekly meeting. During these meetings, he would assign tasks for others to do and set up what he called upcoming story. Essentially, it was side missions, since the game didn't really have much.
Sorry for the ignorance. How is there a server in a TTRPG? Discord server. There's a Discord server. It's here. If you're interested in it.
Of an overarching plot. Most of his stuff revolved around trapping a group of players in a place for a week and giving them a single hard battle to resolve. Most of the time, the battle would be retconned by one of his overpowered NPCs or a single item he had given a player he favored. This wasn't the worst of it though, and I also realized that the Dungeon Master would try to plan player deaths. He would purposely target a player that he felt needed to die, usually because their player upset him in some way, they stopped donating on Patreon, or because he had given them an overly broken item and now he couldn't easily take them down. For example, he gave someone armor that basically absorbed all damage. So his answer for his own sloppy mistakes: kill the character or force that item away from them somehow. Brilliant GMing. Take notes, guys. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. So if you pay nothing, he's gonna get mad, eventually kill your character when it feels about time. Or if you pay a little bit, realize you're paying too much, and then, go down a tier or stop altogether, he's going to wrath you because he's angry that the income went away. And if you pick that highest tier, he's going to give you a special magic item that he didn't balance at all. It's something that he makes up on the spot, and 3 sessions down the road where he realizes that it's too powerful, he just kills you outright and makes you reroll a character. Yeah, this is getting more and more awful. Let's continue. The final straw for everyone came when he railroaded the death of my character. My little vampire loved taming creatures and had tamed a creature that the Dungeon Master had once said had the chance to turn into a very dangerous and uncontrollable monster if it grew too powerful and leveled too much and too quickly. Wait a minute, do the monsters have levels? Because the players apparently only have have like skill level ups, so I assume it's something like that, but let's continue. Well, I had it for 1 week. After spending all my hard-earned in-game money on the device to catch it, think really weak and overpriced Pokeballs. I roleplayed training it for 1 real-life hour each day along with playing with it, and overall trying to develop my character's bond with the little necrotic monster. After the first week of intense and long roleplay, His Highness graced me with the knowledge that it leveled up to level 2, and I need to roll a percentile roll. I roll 7 out of 100. Well, His Highness was not upset at all, or forgiving. His voice suddenly got a cold twist to it as he says, "Okay, well, this will be fun. I hope you're ready to face the consequences."
Yep.
With that ominous bit, His Highness would put the entire game on hold for 30 minutes while he, I kid you not, made up stats and other things for this evolving level 2 monster. Finally, 30 minutes passes and all the other players are reasonably confused. What is going on? Why is gameplay stopped? Why is His Highness cackling and acting so excited? Finally, the wait ended. I'll narrate this bit to the best of my ability since by this time we were all on voice call. He really did sound like this, by the way. His Highness. "Okay, so," laughs gleefully. "What you didn't know is this is one of the most dangerous monsters alive when it evolves." Me. "How?" His Highness. "Well, when they evolve, they become their true form. It doesn't matter what level they were before. This was basically a baby." Me. "But," His Highness. "Okay, so it transforms into a female humanoid with dark black eyes."
Oh, thank God.
"It looks just like your character, but the evil version because it spent so much time with you."
Okay.
Me. "I had it for 1 week." His Highness. "Now everyone in the town has to make a wisdom save." Me. "Oh phew, wisdom is my best stat. I built more of a caster type." His Highness. "Well, no, you don't get one. You're right next to it." More players than he expected
Wait,
pass
what?
the check, and His Highness proclaims to his plebeians, "Actually, since this is the Lord of the Undead, anyone with the undead subtype can't pass the save and fails right away." Cue 3 players now auto-failing despite having rolled successes. May I remind you, he was making this all up and had no notes on this thing. I knew because I was a game master and had read through everything he had made.
Fair enough. I mean, to be fair, you kind of bullshit a lot as a DM.
His Highness. "Okay, so now if you failed to save, you are all walking towards the monster and are under his full control. If anyone comes close, you'll be attacking them." Me. Well, can I try to break free?" His Highness. "It reaches out and touches you. Your life drains away. Make your first
This just seems like bad game design.
death save." Me. Okay. Next thing I know, I'm making saves and according to him, cannot stabilize because it will just touch me again if I do. So I'm dying. Any player not mind controlled is at this point trying to get close to save my vampire.
This seems
His
like a
Highness
bad
will
as
most
fucking-
certainly not let this happen, however. Here's what the players try and the response. Mage player. "I tried to run in to grab her body to drag her out of its reach." His Highness. "Her body is floating out of reach and you can't get close. However, it attacks with necrotic damage.
Nice.
Take 46 necrotic damage." Mage player
That's a lot in
calculates,
D&D.
"Well, I have 9 health left." His Highness. "You better run before it attacks you again." Werewolf player. "I have the jump skill. I can jump up to grab her." His Highness. "There is a force field keeping you away. Take 46 necrotic damage." Tech player. "Can I use the
This is a fucking full on like Deus Ex Machina
teleportation
situation.
device I've been saving? Maybe I can try to get that monster away." His
Absolute
Highness.
power trip.
"No, the monster's power deactivates it." Then His Highness sighs, though we can still hear the glee in his voice. "You blink out and are dead." By this point, I feel not only mentally defeated, but I'm close to a breakdown. Me in a small voice as literal tears start to fall. "Oh, okay?" His Highness pauses, probably realizing he's gone too far. "I want to take a moment to make sure you're all right." I guess that's nice of him at least. Me, utterly defeated. "Please, just don't kill anyone else. I'm fine." His Highness. "All right, let's get back to it." He pauses, having realized hopefully his error, and states, "So your teammate, a player who's not online currently, flies in with the Millennium Falcon."
Oh, holy fuck. Holy shit.
And crashes into it. Everyone breaks out of the trance and the monster is gone. Other people ask if that offline player is killed from literally crashing a spaceship into the monster. His Highness. "No, he's fine. I rolled to see how he did and he rolled high and was able to crash safely. Now let's get back to role-playing in the normal server."
Wait,
Well,
what?
big surprise, the entire Discord community was beyond pissed. Over the next few days, I stayed offline and honestly need to not focus on what felt like the unfair murder of my player character.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to anyone else with the exception of those two sweet GM girls, bless their kind selves, supporting and standing by me. Through them, I found out His Highness was getting angry messages from literally everyone, even the players that no longer played. So my readers, what did he do? What was his well thought out and adult response? His response was to say that we were all being overly sensitive and he had given everyone a chance to save my character because she would have died before a battle even started. It got to the point where he called me on the phone to demand why I was complaining about his choices as a game master and to tell me that I was not respecting his leadership. I told him that I was not talking to anyone else, that I stepped away for my mental health because I had broken down emotionally, literally something I have only done one other time in my life, and was not ready to speak to him at length. He then called my husband, his biggest and best mistake. Here is where karma came to fight, with both guns blazing. See, my husband was also a player in his game and an ex-Marine.
Oh,
His Highness tells my husband that
the husbando,
the server's turning on him, and he's worried that without support, the entire thing will end. Well, husband suggests to His Highness that if he really wants to save the server, he can help. As long as His Highness does exactly what he says, husband has the perfect way to save the situation. In the game,
oh my god, does he have a particular set of skills?
Players speak with a time-related NPC that's a master over time travel and things like that, etc. And the time NPC tells them, you can bring her back from the dead, however, to save a life that is meant to be lost, time still has to have a death to balance it. Someone else, more powerful and dangerous, must die in her place. The overpowered demon guy.
Oh my god.
aka His Highness's favorite NPC and leader of the black market. Now I will say this, I discovered all of this later because at this point I'm not playing. His Highness, under my husband's prompting, had agreed to this whole thing because according to him, it will take players months to kill him, he's incredibly powerful, and I will make sure it is super hard and no one will get to him. Little did he know, but a group of vengeful players, including husband and those two GM ladies, had stayed up 24 hours straight in a state of rage and coffee-induced insanity scheming.
What?
The very next day, one of the new players, let's call him Simp, though he was a sweet guy, just, well, a simp, tells His Highness in private that he wants to speak to the OP demon guy. His own character was a demon, and the OP demon guy had been working to recruit him for a while, and His Highness, likely desperate to get someone on his side, agreed. Now here's where it gets fun. See, like I said before, there was a few things working in the player's favor. To recap, His Highness was barely online and never really read the roleplay, so didn't know that in-game, Simp had been equipped for a suicide mission. Simp was like a brother to my vampire, and had even pursued her romantically, though had been shut down, thus Simp was very much on board with dying to save her. Simp was shown into the black market and is told, His Highness, security seems increased, but you are recognized by the guards and shown inside. You are led to the OP demon guy's private office. When you go in, you see him, through a portal, battling a massive centipede monster. He strikes it with his flaming sword, easily slaying it before he steps out of the portal, and walks over to you with a
Dude, this is like peak fucking Chunibyo shit. This is unreal.
I wait until he gets close. I look very nervous. His muscles are gleaming from sweat on his body. He looks like he's been working out and walks all the way up to you. Okay, so he likes his NPC like that. Interesting.
Yeah,
Let's see what Simp says. Simp, I pull out a thermal detonator from my pocket and activate it, blowing myself and
What? And all of my NPCs are fucking cursed. Like the Silver Knight. You guys remember the Silver Knight? 5 stars. I have 5 stars, guys.
an OP demon guy up. His Highness goes silent for a full minute. Finally, he asks where Simp got it. Of course,
5
he hadn't read that in game, in the channels, and in full view of the rest of the players and game masters. The characters had discussed and given Simp a weapon His Highness had put into the game. This weapon was a thermal detonator, a bomb which exploded instantly once activated and had once before been used by His Highness to obliterate an entire channel. His Highness had said in the past this weapon would go through any defenses, any magic, and any shields. It would destroy anyone within its radius and leave a smoking crater behind. Karma had come into the form of a Simp and His Highness's poorly made overpowered weapon. A deadly combo. His Highness was emotionally distraught. He first began to argue, saying cheating had occurred. His game masters, namely the ladies who he bullied and gaslit, stood firm. They showed him the in-game roleplay, they showed where the weapon had come from, and they told him OP Demon Guy was dead through a fair RP, which had full evidence. After His Highness had a day of silence for the lost NPC, then proclaimed that OP Demon Guy had not even been there. He was an illusion, and apparently often use
Holy
illusions when
crap.
meeting with people. Well, having read and reread every scrap of Black Market's info since, you know, I led it, this claim also did not hold water. Soon after, His Highness called me on the phone to tell me how I destroyed his game, how I had spread lies and hate, and had other players get revenge for his GMing choices. I told him that he didn't have to worry, I was leaving. His server fell apart within a week, and they say if you pay close attention,
Man.
the illusion of OP Demon Guy is still out there somewhere, flexing his sweaty muscles. You know, I'm going to be pretty honest here. This is one of the most confusing horror stories I've
Yeah.
read. I don't know if it's the inconsistency with this guy's game system,
Is
where
it like I feel like with a story like this and it has like Patreon, like it would have like you'd be able to track it down, right? You should be able to track it down.
sometimes there's skill leveling, sometimes a monster has monster levels. And the fact that someone used the Millennium Falcon to crash into a big bad evil guy when the fight seemed like it's going to be a TPK. Does this guy even have a product that's remotely close to selling at this point?
Yeah, like,
I
how
feel
is
like
this
having
possible?
Ready Player One, the TTRPG, is one of those things that it's like the most basic and lowest form of campaign setting, really. And when you have so many game masters who are basically running the show and this guy shows up occasionally to be annoying and yell at you guys, at what point do you just block the guy, make your own server, and take all the players? It's not like he's offering any real service. That's
Yeah.
one of the big things that I notice in these RPG horror stories. There's always like a couple people that are okay, and maybe there's one problem player and a couple people that enable them. There always seems to be a point in these RPG horror stories where they're like, yeah, it's completely
Yeah, I
unbearable.
wonder how many of these are fake.
The Dungeon Master is completely awful, but there's a couple people I love playing with, and it's just a shame because I don't want to ditch them. If you're ever in a situation where the problem player or the problem DM is not doing a lot of effort and you feel like you're going the extra mile to pick up their slack, at that point, just always be the Dungeon Master yourself. One of the perks of being the Game Master is you don't have a boss, you just have a bunch of people that you respect giving their opinions, and you can build backstories based on that. So to let yourself be bossed around by the super GM of the server, I just hope that you have more self-confidence now. But remember, guys, if you're open and honest and other people are starting to say, hey, I feel that way too, you know, maybe we should do something else, you bring it up to the Game Master, he's instantly insufferable. That's just a sign that you're in a bad campaign, and honestly, re-rolling, starting new, even with a completely new group of people, is probably better than the situation that you currently find yourself in.
Yeah.
I want to hear everyone's thoughts in the comments. Maybe I'm like overanalyzing it, but it does seem like there's a lot of gaps in the story. And honestly, getting the full context would actually probably make this Dungeon Master look even worse, because some of those initial like big picture red flags, like trying to make a game system, having people be beta testers for free, and then expecting payment, is all the context I really do need to know that this guy's a bad Dungeon Master. It's just, what other stuff are we missing out on, you know? If you were a fan of the video, make sure to like and share, and if
Yeah,
you
I
want
would
to
never
support the
do
channel
that.
further,
I would never do like a beta test where like I make people pay to play. Yeah, who the fuck would do that?
you can always become a member or subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Farewell for now.
That was a good video. I'll link you guys. I really like Loot Goblin's videos when it comes to tabletop stuff. Kind of peak. I'll send it to you guys. How much to get to Millennium Falcon in Marine?